That black man that won the Delaware Marathon, y'all, is epic. So y'all know the white guy, he was in the lead, y'all. He was literally like 2 seconds, literally, from crossing the finish line. Baby Joshua Jackson said, "Not today." Not today, baby. Joshua Jackson passed that man up so quick. The man was already celebrating as he was reaching the finish line. He didn't know Joshua was that close behind him. The people was cheering Joshua on, cheering him on. The man never looked back not one time. He kept going. When I tell you Joshua sped past him and finished that race first, they said the man was trying to put on a brave face after the race, but he told his close family and friends he was devastated because he worked so hard for it. Listen, y'all, when I saw that, all I thought was a metaphor for life. And it literally just means you cannot celebrate winning until you finish, until you actually win. Because just that quick, you could lose.
Lord, I have been summoned. Apparently there's an F5 level moment that needs my immediate attention. Watch this. Bruh, now where you get all that gas at the end of the race? This joker's sprinting like he running at 200. He had a reservoir of energy reserved for such a time as this. Yeah, go on, put your hands down, because you ain't celebrating nothing but second place. And in the words of Ricky Bobby,
if you ain't first, you're last.
Now cue the music.
The man who lost the Delaware Marathon has spoken out about how he felt about losing. The Delaware Marathon Running Festival ended in total shock this past Sunday when a runner was passed in the final moments. A man named Carson was only steps away from winning the marathon and was seen jogging towards the line with his arms raised in victory. While he was focused on his celebration, he did not realize that another runner was closing in very fast from about 50 yards behind. Joshua Jackson had picked up his speed and was surging towards the finish while the crowd screamed with excitement. Just as Carson reached the line, he was passed at the very last second by Joshua, who remained laser focused. Joshua finished with a time which was only 2 seconds faster than Carson. Now we found out how Carson feels. One source said the loser was seen being very upset afterwards. He worked so hard for this. He wanted it more than anything. He tried to put on a brave face, but ultimately he told his close ones that he was devastated. It is clear that Carson put everything into this race, and having the victory taken away so close to finish has been extremely difficult.
We have a white man who is about to win a race. He almost got to the end of the race. The ribbon was almost his. The award was almost his. But he got comfortable. He got so comfortable, he slowed down and started looking at his watch because he just assumed that he was going to be the winner of the race. And then all of a sudden, there was a black man. Huts, 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 huts. Started catching up. Huts, 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 huts. Eventually, that black man who was way back there caught up to the white man who just assumed that he was going to be the winner, still looking at his watch, didn't cross the line yet. That black man beat him. That black man surpassed him. And he actually won the race by 2 seconds. Do you want to know what all the major outlets are talking about today? How did the white man lose? Here are the thoughts from the white man who lost. How does it feel, you being a white man losing? Notice I did not say, let's talk to the black man who was able to win the race. Let's talk to the black man that huts, huts, huts and caught up. Let's talk to the winner. No, we would rather hear from the loser. How does it feel losing? Because you as a white man, it should have been yours. And that's what white supremacy is. That's what white privilege is. There's this default that should have gone to the white man. And if it doesn't go to the white man, what went wrong?
Did anyone else see the dude that ran the marathon that beat the dude in front of him by 1 step? Literally 1 step. If you haven't seen the full video, it's honestly insane, but essentially these two dudes were in like the Delaware Marathon, and this dude was literally about to win. He was celebrating way too early when some dude in the way back came steamrolling in. I mean, he came in hot, and he just barely beat him, literally 1 step ahead. Imagine how mad you would be. Like, imagine running for like 2 to 3 hours, working your butt off, about to win, celebrating a little bit too early, and then some dude just sneaks up on you and beats you. Literally beats you by 1 step. I wish I could exaggerate this anymore, dude. I would be so furious if something like this happened to me, bro. I put all this hard work, all this training, just to be beat by 1 step, knowing that I celebrated too early. I couldn't sleep that night. Because the dude's reaction said it all. I mean, he was furious, jealous, and it was all kicking in. Envy, bro. He was furious. I mean, dude, you got beat by 1 step. Moral of the story, do not celebrate too early. Like, legit, do not celebrate too early.
There's a preacher right now getting his sermon ready for Sunday based off this picture right now, because there's a sermon, a message from this picture. Now, if you don't know what happened, right, there was a marathon in Delaware, right? They had this man, this white man by the name of Carson Mello. He was winning, so he thought he was winning, right? He was getting towards the finish line, right? He thought he had it in the bag, so he started to jog a little bit. He started to get, you know, a little bit dip on his chip, you know. He started to celebrate, but little did he know, he had Joshua Jackson back there jetting, right? Had his eye on the finish line. And at the last minute, Joshua Jackson overtook Carson. See, this is what happened when you get a little bit too comfortable, right? You can't get too comfortable because you never know who's in the back that's lurking, ready to take your spot. The visual representation of thinking that something is yours. So you get complacent. You don't want to stay consistent. You don't want to work hard for it anymore because you think it's already yours. But there's somebody behind you who's willing to put in the work, who's willing to stay consistent, who's willing to do all the work and come and take it from you. That's somebody gonna preach that on.
So ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the channel again. So why am I laughing? I'm laughing because this video is really, it's so hilarious, you know, because I know this has happened to like a lot of people when I'm constructing my thoughts, not really on marathon, but just even in life. Even in life, sometimes you celebrate too soon. You celebrate too soon without fact checking, you know. So you see, there's a race and we are looking into this black man and the white man. So this white man reaches almost with few seconds, and then there's that there's this black guy who comes, you know, very fast, and this guy is just like, you know what, yay, you know, I'm there. And then boom. So guys, what is the lesson that you're picking from this particular video? Because this is just funny, and what is funny even more is that when there was press, and then the press people, instead of them interviewing the winner, they said, you know what, no, we want to interview the loser. We want to interview the person who lost, because he seemed to be the man of the day. He seemed to be the man of the marathon. Because, you know, I like what other known athletes, you know, what they do, you know, like they run, and then, you know what, you check who's this side. Because tell me why, like just few seconds from winning, and then you are not going to have it. And this was one of those moments that I saw hilarious, but I'm hoping that both of us are picking up something, you know, like always make sure you finish, make sure you reach at the finish line before you celebrate, because at the end of the day it doesn't look good. Because what is this guy even going to say? What does he has to say? Why did you lose? In fact, why did you lose? So that is the question. So again, for videos like this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, you are welcome to being part of my online family. Please remember to subscribe, remember to leave a comment down below, and yes, to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tagging along always, and I really appreciate this. Until next time.